Welcome back to Project Sunday. And here we go. This is the little guy who made today's project possible. Yes, Audie. Now, as I mentioned last week, no, it was Thursday's video I think I mentioned. Audie got very jealous of my filming process on one of these videos, and as I'm sure you all know, Audie was destined to be a YouTube star. At least that's what he thinks. So he does get very jealous when he's not the center of attention, and he chewed through the cord on my little filming light. So I gave the matter some thought, and this is a quick and easy project. And I thought, well, we should take a look at this because a lot of you are animal lovers, and I can't be the only one out there coping with a bad cat. So when we come back, well, Audie just chewed the cord right in half. This is not the first time he's done it. Now, Audie is not inherently attracted to cords. I'm very lucky about that. There's a method to his madness. If he thinks something is interfering with his attention, it's like you're paying attention to this, you're not paying attention to the cat, he will go after it. But he's not naturally a cord chewer. If you have animals who are naturally inclined to chew cords, it's a major problem. There are some very inexpensive solutions to this. Cord keepers are probably the quickest, the easiest, and the most low-tech, non-invasive way of dealing with this. So the picture that you're seeing right now is just a random cord keeper selection that I found. I think it comes from Amazon. These are just little housings for cords. They can keep multiple cords together, or they can keep the cat, the dog, the rabbit, whatever it is, even the children, from chewing through the cords. So if you have an animal that's inclined to do this, by all means, spend a couple of bucks, invest in the cord keepers, because I can't even begin to tell you how dangerous it is if the animal ingests the cord. The cord has plastic, that's the insulation. It has copper wire in it. The wire is absolutely undigestible and can go through and shred their intestines. You can end up with an animal in severe distress. The vet bills can be astronomical. It's just, compared to the few dollars for the cord keepers, trust me, the cord keepers are a great bargain. And if you think there's a possibility your animal is chewing cords, go check every cord. If you've ever caught your animal chewing a cord, one cord, any cord, go back and check all the rest periodically. I know this sounds like a super pain in the butt, and you're saying, oh, Sue, that means I have to pull the bed away from the wall and move the sofa. Yeah, I know. Yes, I am saying go through this huge pain in the butt problem because it could kill your animal. It really could. And we all know that our pets, they're like our babies. They are worth whatever trouble it will take to periodically check all the cords and make sure that, little Fido or little Tabby hasn't suddenly acquired a wonderful new habit and is munching on your electrical cords. You should always pay pretty close attention to what your animals may or may not be getting into anyway. Are they eating their own food? Are they eating, the dog food, the cat food? Are they living on, treats, table scraps? And in some families, especially if you've got a lot of kids, you don't know what your animal's really living on, because the kids could be feeding the cat peanut butter and jelly under the table, and it could take you like weeks or even years to find out about it. Always pays to just take the extra time, be a little observant. In my case, I have a super bad cat who tells me any little thing that's going wrong. Believe me, if he wants attention, if he wants me to know about something, he is just a squawker, and he will tell me. But as I say, fortunately, his issue is not with the cords. His issue is getting as much attention as he feels he's entitled to. So he chews through the cords in order to attract my attention, not because he likes the cords or because he plans to eat them, which is good. I'm getting off easy. So, having said that, because I don't want any of you to think I am dismissing this as a serious issue. Yes, I laugh about it, but no, I know it's a very serious issue, especially for people who have animals who routinely chew on cords. So I thought we'd take a look at how to do a repair on a cord. It doesn't have to be from animals chewing through it. Colleen, our friend over at the SueMe's Angels, Colleen had an accident last Halloween with a Halloween decoration, a plug-in Halloween decoration, and a lawnmower. So no, it's not always cats. And the Halloween decoration makes it pretty clear that it's not always a simple matter of go out and buy a new extension cord, or in my case, it was the video light, which is very inexpensive. And yes, I did order another one. It's coming in, and, so we don't have to worry about that. But you can't always do it. For Colleen, it would be replacing a large yard decoration. You need to know how to fix the cord. I had a similar problem when Audie got jealous of the Christmas tree and decided to chew through that cord too, because the Christmas tree lights were blinking, and I guess he didn't like it. Just chomped right through. And my choice there was replace the Christmas tree, live without the lights, or do a repair. The repairs are quick and easy. And as I say, sometimes replacement is just, I don't want to say out of the question, but not really feasible. Do you really want to spend a couple $100 on a new Christmas tree when all you have to do is put 15 minutes into changing the cord? So, let me show you the project. Start to finish, under 15 minutes. So simple, and the only tools you really must have, besides a sharp knife, can be any kind of sharp knife you want, is electrical tape. And electrical tape costs about $1 a roll just about anywhere. So, super easy, super cheap. Here you go. Well, today's project comes to us courtesy of a very bad cat. This is a clamp-on small ring light, and Audie, well, I guess he figured it was taking attention away from a cat. So he chewed right through the cord. Now, let's see if we can see in here. There are chew marks all over this section of the cord, and I don't know if you can see them. Frankly, I can't, but I can feel them. So apparently he had to work at it a little bit before he was finally able to disconnect the light completely. Now, what I have done is I didn't even recut the ends of the cord. I just removed some of the insulation from both ends to reveal the wires. Now, the way I did this, and I will show you that in a second, you have to be very careful. This is the first of our watch points. This is not a difficult job, but you absolutely must pay attention to what you're doing. So I will come back in a second and show you how I removed the insulation. Okay, these are the only tools we're going to use for this project. A pair of pliers, not necessary. It just might make things a little easy. Some electrical tape. You should always have electrical tape out. It's got like 1,000 uses, but gosh, I've probably got half a dozen rolls of this stuffed away in various drawers around the house as needed. And this is just a sharp utility knife. What I did in order to strip the insulation off was I simply took the knife and scored across the insulation. I did not cut all the way through. I did not want to. I just wanted to go around and cut through the surface of our plastic insulation. Then I just grabbed the insulation with the pliers and pulled. Because I had not cut all the way through, there was still a bit of plastic keeping it together. You just pull that off. It is remarkably easy to cut through this stuff. But the reason you have to be careful is you don't want to cut through the wires. So that's your first watch point. Next up, and I think I'm actually going to cut a little more insulation off both these ends. It's not necessary, but I think it might illustrate what I'm doing a little better if I take a little more of this off. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be right back. Okay, now that only took a few seconds, and as you can see, I got more off, and these are my little bits of leftover insulation, little hollow tubes. They pull off very easily. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to strip the insulation off these wires. Now, the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to strip the insulation off the pink wire about down to here, and the white wire just a little bit at the edge. So when I take the insulation off, there will be a little bit left here and rather a lot here. And I'm going to do the opposite over here. And in a moment, you'll see what I mean. There is a reason for this. Okay, notice what we have. A long bit of insulation on the white side here, a short bit on the pink. And over here, on the other cord, it's exactly the opposite. A long bit on the pink and a short bit on the white. The reason for that is we want them to match up like this, so that the two junctions of the wire are not hitting at the same point. And when I twist these together, you'll see what I mean. Okay, now we're going to have to look at this closely so you can see what I did. I twisted the two wires together, and then I cut off the excess and turned the twisted part in the opposite direction. So the white, which has the short end over here, that's where I turned the twisted wire. The pink, the short end is over here. And that's the way I turned this twisted wire. And the reason I did this is because I want those wires reasonably far away from each other. It's just a safety precaution. It's going to be taped up, but this pretty much guarantees me that these live wires are not going to come in contact with each other. And that's basically our second watch point. So the first one is be careful when you cut through the insulation. Number 2, keep the live wires separate. All right, next up, we're just going to tape it. Okay, so here's what our wire looks like when it's taped. But remember, I said there were little cat teeth marks in here. So I'm going to cut off another piece of tape and just wrap it right down to this little hub, just to make sure that there are no breaks in the cord. Now, the connections are still strong. The cat chewed into the insulation, but that's all. But I'd like to cover that up all the same. Now, the great thing about electrical tape is it's a plastic tape. It's very stretchy. You can get it to pretty much nicely conform to whatever shape you are wrapping your cord in. But, yes, thank you. You did this. Just so you know, this is your mess. I'm cleaning it up for you. Where was I? Oh, yes, plastic electrical tape. I find the stuff is endlessly useful, but if you are working with electrical wiring, you don't want to use anything else. It may look like duct tape, it may look like friction tape, whatever, but you want specifically electrical tape. It's very plasticky, very shiny, very slick, and this is the job it's designed to do. It will insulate your wires. Other types of tape will not. So now I'm just going to plug this in and see if we have success. Now, the biggest thing you need to worry about when you're doing a project like this, because these are very, very thin, teensy-weensy little wires, is you want to make sure you don't cut through the wire when you're removing the insulation. I know I kept saying that over and over again while I was filming, but it's really important because it is so easy. The wires are thin, the insulation is thin, so just score it. Just run that knife around, just make a little circle around your cord. Just break the outside edge of the insulation and then it'll just pop right off. That's the difficult part of this, is just making sure you don't cut all the way through. Everything else is super easy. It's just that quick. And as I showed you in the filming, you want to make sure you are not just slicing down the middle and lining up your wires. You want to offset your wires. There are 2 wires in every extension cord, every plug cord, the cords, 2 wires. You want to offset them. You don't want them joining at the same spot. That just takes a minute. The cords are marked according to color. So it's a very, very easy process. No difficulty in matching up your cords. Just make sure there's a little space between the connection of one cord. In our case, it was pink and white. You want the pink cord to be connected about maybe half an inch away from where the white cord is connected. That's all. Then wrap it up. Electrical tape can be used to repair damage that an animal has done to a cord. In other words, if they've left little teeth marks, and you can actually see sometimes the little copper wire exposed through the teeth marks, wrap it with electrical tape. Now, obviously, when a cord's been compromised like that, the real solution is replace the item. But if for some reason you can't do that, or in my case, it's going to happen, but it's not going to happen today. It'll take a few days for that new light to come in. you can actually keep it reasonably safe with electrical tape. So, and by the way, that's not saying that you ought to be using chewed through wires. I'm sure you all know that, but I know as well as you do that there are times when we're just going to have to make do with what we've got. So yeah, electrical tape can buy you a degree of safety, and a little bit of extra time to go out, get a new light, get a new Christmas tree, get a new Halloween decoration, whatever. But what you really want to do is take care of the break, put it back together, do it securely, and then you're back in business. So, simple, quick, easy. You can do this on anything. The wire I used was a very thin wire. It's a USB connection that I happened to just put into an electrical plug attachment, so I don't use it through a computer. I use it right through an outlet. USB cord, tiny. You can do this with extension cords, with lamp cords, with anything. If you do it properly, you do it safely, you can have a good connection. Whatever you do, if you have a repaired cord, handle it carefully. Never tug on it, never pick the item up by the cord. Keep in mind that you have connections in there that need to be protected. So hopefully this has turned out to be interesting and useful for you. Super easy, super quick, super cheap. Okay, so go on over to the SueMe's Angels Facebook page. Let Colleen know that you know now what happened to her Halloween decoration. Lawnmower, straight over the cord. Sign up for the giveaways. Stick around for the company. They are great, great people. On the way out, we are going to have a little bit of a slideshow. And this evening, we're going to do another of our Just Chatting shows. And then we'll be right back to thrifting and projects next weekend. So have a terrific day. I will see you soon.